हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते ताप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Hare Krishna. So we are discussing the four essential verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Lord Krishna revealed these four verses, and Brahmaji, when he gave it to Narad, it expanded. And when finally Narad gave it to Vyasadeva, it expanded to how many? Yes, Ramya?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, 18,000.
Yes, 18,000. Hmm. How? Because of the realization. But in our case, it is reverse. Even of this 18,000, we can't even speak on four verses. It is the reverse progress. Okay. So everyone remembers the first verse? Clear? मानिनी माता जी याद कर लिया? अभी तो 5 दिन हो गए चर्चा करते हुए. बोलिए.
नहीं हुआ है प्रभुजी, हरे कृष्ण दंडवत
बोलिए. वर्स.
प्रभु।
आवाज नहीं आ रहा है आपका.
प्रभुजी पूरा नहीं हुआ है प्रभु।
फिर कहाँ से पूरा होगा? अभी क्यों अधूरा है? 5 दिनों में एक वर्ष नहीं हो रहा है. करने की इच्छा नहीं है, इसका मतलब है. स्पष्ट है. Okay, we move to the next verse. पुरुषोत्तम, वर्स बोलिए along with the translation.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्णा.
बस बोलना है प्रभु। अहम एवाशम भाग्रे न अन्यत् यत् सत् असत् परं पश्चात् अहम यत् एत यत् एतस्य यो वसिष्यते सो अस्म्यहम्।
Yes, good. What is the meaning of the translation of this verse?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, इसमें लॉर्ड कृष्णा ब्रह्मा जी को बता रहे हैं कि क्रिएशन के पहले मैं था, एंड जब ये भौतिक संसार नहीं था और कॉज और इफेक्ट was also not there. That time I was also there, and at the time of annihilation I am also there. So
At the time of annihilation, I am also there. तो क्या होता है? Annihilation होगा तो सब समाप्त हो जाएगा.
इसका मतलब तो सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी ऑफ गॉड एट कृष्णा ऑलवेज देयर इन पास्ट फ्यूचर एंड इन प्रेजेंट.
Even more better, clearer translation. Pradeep?
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Guru.
Hare Krishna.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead says to Brahmaji that mm, he was present before the creation, and also he maintains the not the material creation, the cause of the creation, and also after he remains after the annihilation also.
Yes. So he is the one who is the creator, he is the one who is the maintainer, and he is the one who is the annihilator. And the creator is always there before the creation, and he continues to exist even after the creation is dissolved or annihilated. Okay. So we see the next verse. What was the next question? What were the questions of ब्रह्मा जी? माननीय माता जी, क्या क्वेश्चन था ब्रह्मा जी का?
नहीं पता प्रभु जी।
नहीं पता? तो फिर कर क्या रहे हैं? पता करिए ना. What was the question? Manoram Prabhu?
Prabhuji, the next Lord Brahma wanted to know about different energies of the Lord, how they are working. Prabhuji.
Yes. And what was the first question?
First question was, Lord, the Supreme Lord is transcendental, but how again he takes the mundane form or the material form?
He wants to know about the forms of the Lord, both the spiritual form and the material form. So that Krishna has explained that he is always maintaining his spiritual form, and he also manifests as this material universe in the material form. The next question is about Lord's energy. We will see what Krishna answers in the next verse. Rithe artam yad priye na priye chatmani tad vidyat atmano mayam yatha bhaso yatha tama. याद करना है ना? चारों वर्ष याद करना है. ऋथे अर्थम रत प्रिय, सॉरी, ऋथे अर्थम यत प्रतीये ना प्रतीये चात्मनि तद विद्यात्मनो मायम यथा भासो यथा तमः. रिपीट, रिसाइट. देख के, अभी देख के बोलो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. Decide, everyone decide, one after the other.
प्रभु जी बोलो।
बोलिए.
रते अर्थम जत प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद विद्यादात्मनो मायं यथा भासो यथा तमः।
Yes, next.
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
ऋते अर्थम यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तत् विद्यात् आत्मानो मायां यथा भासो यथा तमः। Thank you.
Okay. So this is very Upanishadic value, way of presenting. So it is talking about the various energies of the Lord, the potency, the spiritual and the material energy. So what the Lord is saying? Rithe artham yat pratiye. Rithe is without. And the word artham can be used in many understandings. Here, artham is value. So that all which appears to be of value. Krite artham yad pratiyet. Na pratiyet chatmani. And that which appears to be of value is of actually no value. Na pratiyet. Yat priyet pratiyet. And he says na pratiyet. Just it is being contradicted. Anything which appears or assumes to be of rite artham, and what it appears to be of some value, it becomes useless when tad vidyad atmano mayam, when one fails to see the relation with the Supreme, when one is not situated in the knowledge to will see others in connection with Krishna. Yatha bhaso yatha tama. O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. It is no value. Know it as my illusionary energy. So that which does not allow us to see anything in this world not connected to Krishna is the illusionary energy. Know it as my illusionary energy. That reflection which appears to be in darkness. कुछ समझ में आया? थोड़ा कठिन है. क्या समझ में आया? ऋते अर्थम यद प्रतीयेत ना प्रतीयेत च आत्मनि. Anything which appears to be of some meaning or value. Artha means two things. Arth means meaning also. Shabd arth, meaning. And earth means some asset, some value also. So the Lord is saying here that that which appears to be of some value has no value if it is cha atmani, if it is not in relation or connection with the super soul, cha atmani. And who is that super soul? The Supreme Lord's representation himself. And he is talking about two things. Tad vidyat atmanomayam. Vidya means when one is in knowledge. When one is in knowledge, atmanomayam. When one is able to see the connection with the Supreme Lord. Then one is situated in knowledge. And when one fails to see the connection, then yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. It seems to be of value, but it is useless. It is the darkness, it is the illusionary energy, it is the influence of the illusionary energy. अभी कुछ समझ में आया? हाँ, कुछ बेसिक समझ में आया कि क्या बोल रहे हैं? It's talking about the energy. And what the energy does, that if it connects to Krishna, it makes the purpose of human life success. And if it remains the jiva to remain disconnected, the purpose of human life is gonna waste. Okay. कोई क्वेश्चन है तो पूछो. Yeah, let us proceed. Should we proceed, or if there is something to ask, inquire, to discuss, let us discuss. Yes, Manoram Prabhu.
Prabhuji, the last part is not understood, Prabhuji. The last sentence.
Yatha bhaso yatha tama.
Yes, despite.
One moment. See the word meaning. Yatha bhasa. You see, abhasa means when there is not the mula. Abhas means the reflection. Reflection means that there is not the original, but it is a shadow. So see, O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, it has no reality. Okay? It is na pratiyet cha atmani. Know it as my illusionary energy. What? This is avidya. What avidya does? It does not allow us to relate with the Supreme Lord. And this illusionary energy, how it functions? It keeps the jiva in darkness, in the mode of darkness. Okay, it will become more clearer. Let us see the purport. In the previous verse, it has already been concluded that in any stage of the cosmic manifestation, in appearance, in sustenance, in growth, in interactions of different energies, its deterioration and its disappearance, all has its basic relation with the existence of the personality of Godhead. And as such, whenever there is forgetfulness of this prime relation with the Lord, and whenever things are accepted as real without being related to the Lord, that conception is called a product of the illusionary energy of the Lord. When one sees himself, Jiva, and he sees the material manifestation, Jagat, independently, without being able to see the connection or the relation with Supreme Lord Krishna. And as such, whenever there is forgetfulness of this prime relation with the Lord, and whenever things are accepted as real without being related to the Lord, that conception is called a product of the illusionary energy of the Lord. Because nothing can exist without the Lord, it should be known that the illusionary energy is also an energy of the Lord. The right conclusion of dovetailing everything in relationship with the Lord is called Yoga Maya. So there are two Mayas. Energy is one, but it acts differently. One is the Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya is for whom? For pure devotees. Those who have the right conception and the right perception. Then what is the right conception? Is dovetailing everything in relationship with the Lord. Is called Yoga Maya or the energy of union. And the wrong conception of detaching a thing from its relationship with the Lord is called the Lord's Devi Maya or Mahamaya. Both the Mayas also have connections with the Lord because nothing can exist without being related to Him. As such, the wrong conception of detaching relationship with the Lord is not false but illusionary. So there are principally two energies and both have connection with the Lord. 1 minute. Sorry, Hare Krishna. So here, what is being talked about, that there are principally two energies, as we know, of the Lord. The illusionary energy and the spiritual energy. The Yogamaya and the Mahamaya. And when the Jiva is able to see the connection with the Lord, then which energy acts is the Yogamaya. And when the Jiva is unable to see the connection with the Lord, both his own connection and the connection of the material universal. So the Jiva and Jagat, when it is unable to connect with Jagdish, it is under the jurisdiction of the Mahamaya. And when the Jiva is able to see the connection with himself and the Jagdish, and also the connection of Jagdish with Jagat, then he is under the potency of Yogamaya. Okay? The right conclusion of dovetailing everything in relationship with the Lord is called Yogamaya. Dovetailing, you understand, na? It's connection. Or the energy of union. Very nicely. Prabhupada is saying Yogamaya or the energy of union. So the Jiva is having the connection with the Lord. And the wrong conception of detaching a thing from its relationship with the Lord is called Lord's Devi Maya or Mahamaya. Clear? हाँ? अभी क्लियर है? अरे बोलो हाँ ना, क्या हुआ? Is my voice reaching or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So this conception is getting clear. The first line we are discussing, Rite Artham Yat Pratiyet. So it is valuable, it is of meaning when one is able to see the connection, when the relationship. And if he fails to see the relationship, na pratiyet chatmana, then it has no meaning. Then one is under the illusionary energy. So there are principally two energies. The question was, what are your various spiritual and material energies and how they are working? One example is given that Ravan, what was Ravan seeing? He was seeing himself not in connection with Ram. So he was always thinking that Ram is his competitor or his rival or his enemy. So he sees himself distinct, detached from the Supreme Lord. And what he was seeing? Sita Devi as. He was seeing Sita Devi as the object of enjoyment. Why? Because he was not able to see the connection of Sita Devi with Lord Ram. So he thought that this is for my enjoyment. So when the Jiva, he thinks that this material nature, so many times you have discussed this process. Whenever the Jiva thinks that this creation or this material creation or this manifestation of the material energy is for his enjoyment, he gets under the trap of the illusionary energy. What is the verse? What is the pramana? What are the verses? It is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is there in Bhagavad Gita, it is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Everywhere this principle is explained. What are the pramanas? Come on, you have all studied this. We have discussed this so many times. There's nothing new. But in this proper perspective, to have the right conception, not to be having the illusionary conception or perception. What are the evidences? क्या प्रमाण है? Ramya is not hearing today. Dayāśīl.
Yeah, she's there, Prabhuji. She has gone for some.
You have to answer. See, don't waste time. It is already 9 o'clock. There is no praman. You don't know this basic understanding. I am not going to proceed. What is the point in proceeding if this basic is not known? Oh. And by remaining silent, you foolish people, you will not get the answer. Don't know this basic understanding how the illusionary energy acts and how the spiritual potency act. What are the evidences? What are the verses? Yes, Pradeep, बोलिए.
दैवी ही ऐसा गुणमयी मममाया दुरत्या
Yes.
ममयवे प्रबद्धयन्ते आयन्ने तंत्र.
This basic verse you took you such long time. Explain.
The supreme divine energy consists of these three modes of one.
Which energy is this? The divine energy is what? Spiritual energy. So far we have classified two energies, huh? Yoga Maya and the Mahamaya. So when it is Maya, you see, very simple to understand. In any case, it is Maya. Maya means it is Krishna's. Krishna is speaking, na? This and that Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna. He's saying, Devi Esha Gunmahi. Mahi means whose? It is Krishna's. So that Maya Shakti becomes Mahamaya or it becomes Yoga Maya. When it becomes Yoga Maya, Mam eva ye prapadyante. Maya metam tarantite. As soon as one surrenders unto me, this divine energy of mine, one is able to surpass or surmount. Okay, good. One reference. What are the other references? This is Bhagavad Gita. 7th chapter. What is the verse number?
14.
14. Yes, 7:14. Good. दयाशील तुम इतने सालों से क्या कर रहे हो?
प्रभु जी महात्मानस तो माम पार्थ
अभी अभी तुम्हारा ट्यूबलाइट जला क्या? उसमें पीछे से करंट आ गया या रम्या ने बता दिया तुमको?
नहीं प्रभु जी.
ये तो इतने देर से क्या कर रहे थे? सुनाई नहीं दे रहा था या सोचने की शक्ति चली गई थी? बोलो.
प्रभु जी महात्मानस तो माम पार्थ देवी प्रकृति आश्रितम भजंत अनन्य मनसो.
आगे बोलो. सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है. पूछो अपने पार्टनर से, पूछो. किताब मत खोलना. ज्ञात्वा माम भूतादिम अव्ययम यही तो नहीं समझते ना हम, यही तो भगवान पहले उस श्लोक में समझा रहे हैं कि ज्ञात्वा माम। So what is the understanding? अरे unmute and speak यार. You are muted.
Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that you are under my shelter of my divine energy, Prabhuji. Divine.
Who is under divine? When we can one come under divine energy? What is the quality that makes one to come under the divine energy?
Bhajanya ananya manaso.
Yeah, bhajanti ananya manasa. When his bhajan is ananya. And why manasaha? Our bhajan is manasa. We are remembering Lord by our mind. Our mind is attached to Krishna. Huh? And it is ananya. So unless and until one comes to that platform, so when one is bhajanti ananya manasa, and one is, this is devotional service, bhajanti ananya manasa. And how one is performing devotional service? By being situated in Krishna consciousness. Gyatva mam bhutadim abhyam. So that Maya will act as Yoga Maya. It will revive one's connection and relation with Krishna. It will help. Okay, very good. What are the other verses? Purushottam? बोलो, पूरा भगवत गीता श्रीमद् भागवतम चैतन्य चरितामृत भरा हुआ है. वो भरा हुआ है, लेकिन हमारे कल कहाँ थे तुम? वेयर वर यू यस्टरडे?
तो कल लेट हो गया था।
या 9 बजे के बाद आए थे?
पौने ना हो गया।
तुमको पता है हमारी क्लास चल रही होती है, मिस हो गया तुम्हारा पहला श्लोक की अंडरस्टैंडिंग है नहीं, अभी पूछूंगा बता नहीं पाओगे। इसी की बताओ जो आज हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं। ना
तो इसमें
प्रतियेत
भगवान जी दो
चात्मनि,
हाँ,
ना
मायास के
प्रतियेत
बारे में
चात्मनि।
बता रहे हैं।
वो सब नहीं सुनना है, कैसे,
वनिज
हाउ इट इज एक्टिंग, वेयर इज द प्रमाणा, वेयर इज द एविडेंस। ऐसे तो अदरवाइज इट टॉक हैज नो मीनिंग, तो यही हो जाएगा। ना प्रतियेत चात्मनि, इट विल हैव नो मीनिंग एंड नो वैल्यू। यस रम्या, आप बोलो। ओके दयाशील, यू वांट टू।
प्रभुजी कृष्ण भूलिया जीव भोगवांछा करे।
दिस इज द बेसिक वर्स, इतना
That is
टाइम लग रहा है। बोलो बोलो, अनम्यूट करके। व्हेन यू आर स्पीकिंग, व्हाई यू आर म्यूटिंग अगेन, वेस्टिंग
प्रभुजी
टाइम।
कृष्ण भूलिया जीव भोगवांछा करे निकटस्थ माया झापुड़िया धरे।
कृष्ण भोलिया जीव भोगवाचक। As soon as we have the desire to enjoy independently, what this energies do, it turns us into the illusion. निकटस्थे माया तारे झापड़ी अधरे. It gives a big kick on our back. Why? We want to enjoy separately, independently. Okay, we're proceeding. अभी समझ में आ गया ना? Clear है? So when there is a desire to serve, the same energy becomes favorable, so as to connect with Krishna. As soon as there is a desire to enjoy independently, the same energy pushes us into the dense darkness of suffering and ignorance. Both the Mayas have also connection with the Lord, because Nothing can exist without being related to him. As such, the wrong conception of detaching relationship from the Lord is not false but illusionary. So what we have to change? We have to change our conception. And when the conception will change, the perception will change. What is the perception we are having? That we can enjoy separately and independently from Krishna. What perception is this? What conception is this? Ravan. This conception of Ravan. He was thinking he can enjoy Sita independently. He was not able to see the connection of Mother Sita with Lord Ram. That this energy is meant for the Lord's enjoyment. This is the Lord's energy. So going deeper in this verse, misconceiving one thing for another is called illusion. Clear? What is illusion? Illusion means which is distinct from reality. So what is the illusion that we are having? That who am I? We are thinking I am this body, I am this mind, I am this intelligence, I am this false ego. This is misconceiving one thing and for another thing is called illusion. For example, accepting a rope as a snake is illusion. But that the rope is not false. The rope as it exists in front of the illusion person is not at all false. But accepting it as a snake is illusory. Therefore, this material manifestation is not false, but the wrong conception of accepting the material manifestation as being diverse from the energy of the Lord is illusion. Very golden statement. This material manifestation is not false, but what we have the false conception. That this is a reflection of the reality in darkness of ignorance. And this illusionary conception is called the reflection of the reality in the darkness of ignorance. Anything that appears not to be produced out of my energy is called Maya. Prabhupada gives a brilliant definition. Anything that appears not to be produced out of my energy is called Maya. The conception that the living entity is formless or that the Supreme Lord is formless is also illusion. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.12, it is said, you all know the verse. Yesterday Manoram Prabhu spoke about this verse. It was said by the Lord in the midst of the battlefield that the warrior standing in front of Arjuna, Arjuna himself and even the Lord had all existed before. They were existing on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and they would all continue to be individual personalities in the future also. Even after the annihilation of the present body and even after being liberated from the bondage of material existence. Both ways. In all circumstances, the Lord and the living entities are individual personalities, and the personal features of both the Lord and living beings are never abolished or compromised. Only the influence of the illusionary energy, the reflection of light in the darkness, can be the mercy of the Lord. Again, I am reading it. Only the influence of the illusionary energy, what it does, how it acts, the reflection of light in the darkness. The illusionary energy keeps us in the darkness. What is the darkness? In our detached state from our connection with Krishna. Can be this reflection of light in the darkness can by the mercy of the Lord be removed. In the material world, the light of the sun is also not independent, nor is that of the moon. The real source of light is the Brahma Jyoti, which diffuses light from the transcendental body of the Lord. And the same light is reflected in varieties of light. The light of the sun, the light of the moon, the light of fire, or the light of electricity. So the identity of the self as being unconnected with the Supreme Self, the Lord, is also illusion. And the false claim, I am the Supreme, is the last snare of the same Maya or the external energy of the Lord. समझ में आ रहा है? क्या हुआ, लोग कम हो गए? पुरुषोत्तम, तुम कहाँ भाग गए? Where are you? हृदय नहीं लगाओगे समझ में नहीं आएगा। तो क्या समझ रहे हो? हाँ, ये क्लास 5 का कोर्स चल रहा है कि कुछ भी हलवा आ जाएगा खा जाओगे? भागवतम है। If you get to have little bit of understanding of the Bhagavatam, you are liberated from this continued chain of birth and death. समझ में आ रहा है? क्लियर
हरे
है?
कृष्णा,
हाँ, बोलो।
कुछ नेटवर्क इश्यू था, मैं सुन नहीं पाया।
क्यों? मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ भैया, तुम्हारे कनेक्शन की प्रॉब्लम है। बाकी तो सब सुन
आपको
रहे हैं।
अभी बीच में बंद हो गया था, कुछ सुन रहा था।
अच्छा, प्रयास करो सुने। बड़ा मुश्किल है, बहुत मुश्किल है। हाँ, अगर कलयुग में सुन लिया, सुनने मात्र से क्या होगा? हाँ, श्रुतवान अपि श्रुति मृत्यु परायण। खाली अगर सुन लिया, ऑब्वियसली सुनने का मतलब है हृदय से ही सुनना पड़ेगा, खाली कर्ण से नहीं होगा, कर्ण इंद्रिय से सुनने से नहीं होगा। अगर वास्तव में सुन लिया तो क्या होगा? श्रुति मृत्यु परायण। One will transcend the cycle of birth and death by the process of hearing. 13-26 में है शायद। We've discussed that many times. 13:26 अन्ये तो एवं अजानन्ता श्रुतवानेभ्यो उपासते ते अपि चातरन्ति एव मृत्युम श्रुति परायणा। अगेन दोज हु आर नॉट कन्वर्सेंट इन स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज। अभी स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज में कहाँ खड़े हो रहे हैं, देख रहा है? तो 4 एसेंशियल वर्ड जो ब्रह्मा जी को बोले, सब सर के ऊपर से जा रहे हैं। कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि क्या है हम ये वासम ये वागरे। कुछ समझ में आ रहा है? कुछ नहीं समझ में आ रहा। अभी ये तो और आ गया ना, रिते अन्य क्या आ गया। हाँ, एक तरफ बोल रहे हैं रथ प्रतीयत, फिर बोल रहे हैं ना प्रतीयत चात्मना। सब ऊपर से जा रहा है, तो ऊपर से जाएगा सब, लेकिन करना क्या है? हाँ, श्रुतवान एभ्यो उपासते। So this hearing process is the process of worship. This is the highest process of worship. You see, this is how we have to see what is the benediction given in the scriptures. Those who are not conversant in spiritual knowledge but began to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about Him from others. So from whom are we hearing? Here we are hearing directly from the Supreme Lord. He is speaking to Brahmaji. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, who is the greater authority than Krishna himself, they also transcend the path of birth and death. 13.26. So many times my teacher told me, one day you don't eat, I don't care. But one day you don't hear, I do care. And you decide what you do. How many times you give up eating and you don't give up hearing. And if we don't do that, then we continue to be in the hoggish mentality. Even a hog who is always interested in eating. That is what Prabhupada is saying, I am not saying. In the 15th chapter, we have already read that. Not to hear like hogs. Okay, so hear very attentively. Even if we are not able to understand it properly. How can we understand this is what is being given to Brahma, yaar? Do we have the intelligence of Brahma? Do we stand anywhere? Yeah. But what is the advantage? That just being in parampara and hearing. Okay. The real source of light is the Brahma Jyoti. Okay, one more sentence was there. So only the influence of the illusionary energy, the reflection of light in the darkness, can by the mercy of the Lord be removed. In the material world, the light of the sun is also not independent, nor is that of the moon. What is the proof? In the material world, the light of the sun is also not independent, nor is that of the moon. What is the proof? रम्या बोलो. अरे तुरंत आ जाना चाहिए यार. ये अगर नहीं आता तो कुछ नहीं आता. बोलो रम्या. ये सब तो कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे. बोलो. अनम्यूट करके बोलना पड़ेगा. आई सुनाई नहीं देगा.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. प्रभु जी, भगवत गीता में भगवान बोलते हैं प्रभास्मि शशि सूर्य.
सिंपल. प्रभास्मि शशि सूर्ययो. प्रभास्मि शशि सूर्ययो. That I am that factor which is giving heat and light both to the sun and the moon. What are the examples? But this is the proof. What are the examples? I've said, I've so many times shared. On the battlefield, when Krishna withdrew his potency from the sun was set. And Jayadratha and the entire army came in front, assuming that the sun is set. And as soon as they all came out, Krishna again released his potency. And the sun was shining bright. And Krishna killed Jayadratha. Yes or no? So, if the potency of the Supreme Lord is not there, everything else is useless. What is it? Na pratiyet cha atmani. This is the deeper understanding of this verse. That everything which is being manifested here, it is the potency of the Lord. Practically, we are discussing the two potencies, the Yogamaya and the Mahamaya. But everything which is emanating, the source of it, the origin of it, the potency of it is coming from the Lord. If one is able to see that behind the creation, if one is able to connect with the Creator, then there is success. Otherwise, it is useless. One is an illusion. The real source of light is the Brahma Jyoti, which diffuses light from the transcendental body of the Lord, and the same light is reflected in varieties of light. The light of the sun, the light of the moon, the light of the fire, or the light of the electricity. So the identity of the self as being unconnected with the Supreme Self, the Lord, is also illusion. And the false claim that I am the Supreme is the last illusionary snare of the same Maya or the external energy of the Lord. So what we have to see? We have to see our connection with the Supreme Lord, the Jiva's connection with the Supreme Lord Jagadish, and the Jagat's connection with the Supreme Lord Jagadish. The Vedanta Sutra in the very beginning affirms that everything is born from the Supreme, Janmadi Yasya Yataha. And thus, as explained in the previous verse, all individual living entities were born from the energy of the Supreme living being. Aham evasam evagre. The personality of Godhead. Brahma himself was born from the energy of the Lord, and all other living entities are born from the energy of the Lord through the agency of Brahma. None of them has any existence without being dovetailed with the Supreme Lord. The independence, it's a long purport. Prabhupada is giving all these verses. We have discussed most of the verses from this purport. The independence of the individual living entity is not real independence, but it is just the reflection of the real independence existing in the Supreme Being, the Lord. The false claim, what is the real independence? See, very, very powerful statement. The independence of the individual living entity is not real independence, but it is just the reflection of the independence existing in the Supreme Being. That means what? What is the understanding of this statement? The independence of the individual living entity is not the real independence, but is just the reflection of the real independence existing in the Supreme Being of the Lord. What does this statement mean? What the statement means? It is talking about real independence, and it is also talking about the reflection of the independence. So what is reflection and what is real? And can there be any position of being independent? Or we are always dependent? What is the understanding? बोलो रम्या.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The independence that individual living entity is having is only out of illusory energy of Supreme Lord, that is Maya.
Okay.
We are thinking that we are independent, but due to illusion, we are thinking that we are independent. Actually, we are fully dependent on Supreme Lord or Maya.
On Maya?
we प्रभु जी, अगर हम सुप्रीम लॉर्ड के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट नहीं होते तो माया
We are under the influence of the illusionary. It is under the influence of the illusionary energy only that the person thing is independent. Okay. Then what is the real independence? You know the answer. What is real independence?
प्रभु जी, रियल इंडिपेंडेंस इज बर्थ एंड डेथ साइकिल से बाहर.
To be freed from the three modes, from the illusionary energy. Simple. Till the time we are thinking we are independent, we are in illusion. We are in conditioned stage. We are captive. The soul is captive. And as soon as one has surrendered, then he becomes independent. He becomes independent of whom? Not the Lord, but of the illusionary energy. How the illusionary energy works? By the three modes. Gunan etat atittin dehi deha samudbhava. He is able to surpass. Mam choya vicharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunan samite etan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. At once he is able to transcend the three modes. Transcend the three mode means what? Freedom. Freedom from where? From the illusionary energy. डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, ध्यान से सुनने का प्रयास करिए, समझ में आएगा. The false claim of supreme independence by the conditioned soul is illusion, and this conclusion is stated in this verse. This is the sum and substance of this verse. Persons with poor fund of knowledge become illusion, and therefore the so-called scientist, physiologist, empirics, philosophers, etc. become dazzled by the glaring reflection of the sun, moon, electricity, etc. and deny the existence of the Supreme Lord, putting forward theories of different speculations about creation, maintenance, and annihilation of everything material. Prabhupada gives an example. The medical practitioner may deny the existence of the soul in the sociological bodily construction of an individual person, but he cannot give life to a dead body, even though all the mechanism of the body exists even after death. The psychologist makes a serious study of this physiological condition of the brain, as if the construction of the cerebrum lump were the machine of the functioning mind. But in the dead body, the physiologist cannot bring back the function of the mind. These scientific studies of the cosmic manifestation or the bodily construction independent of the Supreme Lord are different reflective intellectual gymnastics. So, Prabhupada's presentation. See, what a bizarre way. The scientific studies of the cosmic manifestation or the bodily constructions independent of the Supreme Lord are different reflective. Reflection means what? Illusion. Intellectual gymnastics only. Prabhupada is not saying mental speculation. He's saying intellectual gymnastics only. But at the end, they are all illusion and nothing more. All such advancement of science and knowledge in the present context of material civilization is but an action of the covering influence of the illusionary energy. We know that how the illusionary energy works at avaranatmika, covering potency, and prakshepatmika. The illusionary energy has two phases of existence. See, exactly it's the same thing is called. Namely, the covering influence, which is called avaranatmika, and the throwing influence, which is called the prakshepatmika. What the illusionary energy does, it covers the eternal relationship of the jiva with the Lord. And the jiva identifies himself with matter, not with spirit soul. And once this relationship has been covered, he suffers in various ways. How? Maya kicks him. Prabhupada is saying that is prakshepatmika or the throwing influence. Prabhupada is explaining also. By the throwing influence, the illusionary energy throws the living entities into the darkness of ignorance. And by covering influence, she covers the eyes of the man possessing a poor fund of knowledge about the existence of the Supreme Person, who enlightened the Supreme Individual Living Being. Brahma, the identity of Brahma with the Supreme Lord, is never claimed herein. And therefore, such a foolish claim by the man with poor fund of knowledge is another display of the illusionary energy of the Lord. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 16, 18, 20 that demonic persons who deny the existence of the Lord are thrown more and more in the darkness of ignorance. Mudha Janmani Janmani. And thus such demonic persons transmigrate life after life without any knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's a long purport. I will continue tomorrow. Please try to go through at least one or two times. I'll just take the verse once again. So now it will become more clearer and a little more understandable. So what the Lord is saying, Rite Artham Yat Pratiyet. What is valuable, what has meaning, which has Yat Pratiyet, which has connection with the Supreme Lord. That is which energy? The Yog Maya or the spiritual potency. The spiritual potency, it brings the jiva clearer and nearer to the Lord by fostering the Krishna consciousness. And that which na pratiyet chatmani, and that energy which disconnects or dissociates the jiva with the Supreme Lord, it is illusionary, which is useless. So there are two aspects. Tat vidyat atmano mayam. Vidyat means knowledge. Knowledge about what? The jiva, the Supreme Lord, and the Jagat and their relationship. So that is vidya. That comes from where? From the spiritual energy. Yatha abhaso, yatha tama. Otherwise, the illusionary energy, what it will get? Abhasa. What is abhasa? Is only reflection. And where is the reflection? In yatha tama. Tama is what? Darkness. I hope now this is clear. अभी वर्ड समझ में आ गया? Where is Manoram? He is dropped. बोलो पुरुषोत्तम, अभी क्या समस्या है?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्णा।
तो रते अर्थम यत प्रतीयत मीन्स Krishna is talking about this spiritual energy and na pratyet cha atmani. This is uh, this is his Devi or Yog Maya.
इल्यूशनरी,
Sorry,
इल्यूशनरी।
illusionary energy.
योग माया कहाँ से हो गई यार? महामाया है, महामाया।
Yes,
हमको यही समझ होता है, हमको होता है माया है, बस पकड़ लो, हाँ, और इसको भोग लो, आगे बढ़ो।
and tad vidyat atmano mayam.
हाँ, तो दिस इज द क्वालिटी, तद विद्यात आत्मनो मायम। विच एनर्जी?
This is spiritual energy.
स्पिरिचुअल एनर्जी। और यथा आवासो यथा तमा, दिस इज द इल्यूशनरी एनर्जी।
Yes.
ठीक है, क्लियर? अभी तो कोई कठिनाई नहीं है, क्यों दिनेश जी, कुछ समझ में आ रहा है ना?
Yes, Prabhuji.
हाँ, so this was the question na, what are your various potencies, the spiritual potency and the material potency, how they are working? Now Krishna is explaining how they are working, what are the energies and how they are working. One is bringing jiva in enlightenment with Krishna, and the other is taking jiva again in the dense darkness away from Krishna. Okay, thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Tomorrow we'll have the spiritual scientist class. Dayāśīl Prabhu, please give the invitation right now. Hare Krishna. And please book distribution. Hari bol. कोई स्कोर नहीं आ रहा, आप लोग कुछ लिख नहीं रहे, कुछ बोल नहीं रहे, माने नहीं। आप गीता बांटती रहिए, ठीक है, विरोध चलता रहेगा, वो कुछ नया नहीं है। वो खुद तो बांटेंगे नहीं और किसी को बांटने भी नहीं देंगे, उनकी परवाह करने की जरूरत नहीं है।
जी प्रभु।
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे